The sound good enough? Can everybody hear? Or do I need a mic? Is it all right? I think I'd prefer without the mic, actually. But yeah, thanks for coming. Just briefly, why we decided to invite you guys in. FC Copenhagen has the strategy to be more for the city, and that's why we found it as a good opportunity to let people in and see Parken and use Parken when there's no football. It's a great space, so it's also a shame that it's just empty most days, and we want to change that. So thanks for coming, everyone. Any football fans? Any interested in football? A little bit. Any FC Copenhagen fans? Any Brøndby fans? Get out. No, that's all right. That's all right. We're actually working quite a lot with Brøndby, so it's all right. Just to set the scene, I've brought a little video. Let's see if it works. Cool. So basically, this is why we go to work. It's for all those experiences. And to introduce myself, my name is Kasper. I'm the head of digital at FC Copenhagen. I work mostly with the commercial side of the business, so that's our app, it's the fan shop, it's TV, streaming services, all kinds of digital stuff in this regards. We also have the sporting side, and unfortunately I couldn't get someone from the sporting side today, but maybe for a later meetup we can have a sport tech talk. I've been an FC Copenhagen fan since 1996, so coming to work here in 2020 was a dream. Basically, it's very rare, I think, to be a fan of your workplace. But I am, so that's I'm pretty happy about this. Basically, just to show you a little bit about what we're doing here, and I know this picture is a little bit blurry, but I hope you can see it. On the left side, we have the whole sporting side of things, and on the right side, we have the sort of the commercial side. So commercial side, for when you think in terms of systems, we have whole HR department. You have salary systems, you have shift systems for thousands of employees coming in on work days. We have a whole economy that moves quite a lot of money, especially for football player transfers. We have Parken as a venue. So we have companies in the office buildings. We have the whole canteen running. So Parken is basically also run by us. We have the IT and digital department, which is where I am, which supports all of these different functions. We have the whole communication department and the marketing department, which creates all of the content you'll see from FC Copenhagen. So it's videos, it's campaigns, all that stuff. Basically, our department is quite small. We have my boss, which is the head of IT and digital. We have two IT specialists supporting all our employees. That's the typical things about network, phones, laptops, all kinds of stuff in that sense. One head of digital, which is basically like a lead solution architect. I also do some coding, but we try, and I will explain that later why I'm not doing that much. And then we have a digital project manager helping on the side when we have all these different projects running. So basically, 2 years ago, the old IT boss, who has been here since FC Copenhagen started, went to pension. It's called pension. And there was quite a big gap to be filled. And in the same time, we could also see that when we're doing development and when we are picking out the solutions, we need to, since we have so limited resources, we need to be very certain that we are picking the right systems. And we have basically made a kind of a model that we try to follow whenever we pick new software for that. So basically, just to give you the context, as you saw earlier, we have the whole park, we have a whole football club. So there's so many different systems for the stadium itself, but also for all those supporting functions. So when you look at the business itself, it's quite complex. There's many different problems to solve. We have changing business and changing needs. Sometimes you'll hear one week that one thing is the most important, and next week they have forgotten about the problem. We had a lot of legacy systems because, believe it or not, stadium software is not really a big thing. So there's very few players, and that means a lot of old solutions that sometimes run out of support, and all these kinds of funny things you run into. We also saw a large potential in shifting to more digital solutions. But the problem is we have many stakeholders. Since there's many departments, there's also many needs, and they're not always very good at expressing these needs. We didn't have control over the decision-making process very well. Who can actually decide when to implement a new system, when to buy a new system? There's also not really a concrete priority. What is the most important thing? Every department thinks their thing is the most important thing. Funding models were not really established either. So usually we would have to calculate a business case on top, figure out what is the cost, what can we gain. But one of the core problems is that we were understaffed in terms of how many things we wanted to do. And that was basically the context of what we wanted to change up. And we set some goals, and these are very basic, but that was what we set up for. We want to deliver fast for the different departments. We don't really have time to have a project that takes maybe half a year. And if we have that time, then it's a quite important project, one of the core projects. We also need to focus a lot on the investments. We were hit very hard by Corona lockdowns. It was kind of a double whammy because we couldn't have people in the stadium, and at the same time, all the partners that have paid us to get promoted, they said we're not getting our promotion, so we want our money back. So we had quite a big bill from Corona times. And also, one of the goals was to have minimal overhead. We want to set up a system, get it out for the users in the different departments, and then basically just take a step back and let them run it themselves We don't want to be in the day-to-day things with different departments. So basically what we did was that we took all the old on-premise stuff and we want to move it up the cloud. And preferably, we'd like to use turnkey solutions. Basically, pick a shelf product, buy it, set it up, and let the department use it. If there is, for example, if then there is no shelf product or it has missing features that we really need, then we go down a bit on the scale and we start develop ourselves. But we will always try to find a software solution that sort of fit our needs, especially since we don't have that many people. And that is what we have set out to do. So basically we started on these problems. We started putting them into sprints. You probably all know that. Not sure how many people of you love it, but it's a good way to manage the problems, make them small and doable in those sprints. And basically, if you take a look at this diagram here, basically the core systems that we have the ticketing. That is basically what we do. We sell tickets for all the events. Last year we had 1,250,000 people during the whole year, so it's quite a lot of people through the gates. We have the merchandise store, which is also a core system. We have our website, which is seen by many people every day. We have a new premium subscription called FCK Plus, which is basically exclusive content, live streaming, discounts on tickets, discounts on merchandise. All those systems has to be integrated into each other. And since it's core, we want to go that one step further to do that. Then when it comes to supporting systems around the business, for example, shift planning, hospitality management, I mean, we could probably build something ourselves, but these are also some of the systems where it's basic functionality, so we really don't want to do that if it's not really needed. And for much smaller projects, like for example the Parken website, it has really it's really just an informative website with a little news sections about the upcoming projects or concerts stuff that we have. And basically we just try to put all that stuff in here, and now we are working on different projects, and I'll have an example of that. Basically, we have the FCK Plus, which I told about just before. It's the new mobile app for FC Copenhagen and the TV website where we stream all our training sessions, training matches. We have the discounts on tickets and discounts on fan shop, priority lane for buying tickets. And the way we set up the system composition of this was that we looked for an identity management service for our fans, because prior to this project, you would have one login for the fan shop, you would have one login for the ticketing system, one login for the app, and none of the system talked to each other. So it was really a bad user experience. So we set out to solve the identity problem at first, and we decided to build this in-house. Because we looked at shelf products and couldn't really find anything that was feasible to integrate into all of these systems. We built that in-house. We deployed it on Kubernetes. We made single sign-on for the fan shop, and that is then a shelf product called Shopify. Some of you might know it. We integrated the ticketing system so people could log in, retrieve their tickets. We didn't build the app. We decided on a white label solution, which Brøndby is also using. So some similarities there. Then the TV website was, we got that based off Divisionsforening, that's a club association. They have built this CMS solution and a front-end solution for news. And we just decided to use that since we have access to it. And then have a front-end design on top of that. So this is basically how we decided to build this system, and it's been quite successful. The funny part about this is that even though we've decided about this strategy, then the places where we actually are seeing problems is where other people have developed the system, because you kind of lose that knowledge about being in a football club and how the fans are engaging with the club. If you're not in the football business, it can be quite hard to understand, because for these people, they are not customers in this. They don't see themselves as customers here. They see themselves as fans, so they also have higher expectations for the stuff that we do. And now, a scary story. Basically, as you know, we also have concerts here in Parken. We have all kinds of events actually, and when this old IT boss went on pension, there was so many things that we had to document. Not everything got documented, and we faced the consequences of that at some point. But basically, while we were in here setting up for the whole concert, a power supply was taken out, and that's normal. That's something you should be able to do. But it made a short-term power cut for the UPS system. UPS failed, and then the problems started coming. It resulted in a fried component in a core switch for the whole network here in Parken. The core switch was no longer serviced, and spare parts was really hard to retrieve. After 6 hours, we located a spare part in Jutland, and after 7 hours, we found a spare part in the basement. But we were actually ready to like order a helicopter picking up that spare part, because I mean the concert was the next day, so you don't really have 6 hours where you can't work when you're setting up a concert. But basically, in those hours, we were not able to scan tickets. We would not be able to sell any food or beverage. We would not be able to turn off the light in the stadium. We would not be able to change climate control. I mean, everything network connected in the whole stadium was offline. Yeah, imagine the news headlines if Depeche Mode had to cancel a concert due to a component in the switch being fried. Basically, lesson learned: check your backups, and also check that you can actually follow through. Yeah, thanks. That was all for me. I just want to mention that we have many exciting projects coming up here in the new year. It's mostly focused on web development and integrations and stuff. We don't have a application right now, but you can send an unsolicited application at fck.dk/job. Thanks. Question?
For the identity provider, you said you have created something yourself. Was there any reason you chose to create it yourself versus, for instance, using something like Auth0, which is expensive as well?
Yes, we were quite close to picking Auth0, but it was expensive, and what we saw basically on the pricing model is that many of the fans that we have, they create this profile so that once in a while they can buy tickets. We have a huge number of fans that are only active sometimes, and to pay the license for those users were not really feasible. For those that come here pretty often, it would be, but also due to integrations with different services, being able to connect people in different systems and also build on top of that, we decided to do our own solution. Cool. One more question? Yeah, sorry.
How many people are you all in the IT section, like IT department?
We are basically 5.
Okay, so
Yeah.
very specific.
Yeah.
Slide. Okay, I was just thinking that perhaps you, well, do you subcontract or how does it go? Maybe.
Of course, when we have something like a bigger project, for example, building new networks, what's it called, pulling the cords, we hire someone to do it. But yeah, that's contract some work, but not all.
Yeah. Who do the digital business development? I mean, is it inspired from what other football clubs are doing, or how do you come up with the ideas?
We have of course, a commercial department, which is where we also have our CEO, but they work very much with some of the partners. Sometimes they get some business proposal. For example, this is not secret, but we recently had the Visa asking about all payment solutions at the whole stadium, at the fan store, online, etc., because they wanted to partner and do payment solutions. So sometimes it's come from that. Sometimes it's come from when we ask fans. We ask them like, "What do you need? What do you want?" And so it's different. When we decided to make FCK Plus, we could see there was quite a potential in having a subscription for that. And it was not really to take the old content and put it behind a paywall. It was more to expand the whole universe, to get more in there, to have more live streams, more documentaries, and so on. Yeah.
So maybe I misunderstood you. You are 5 people and you manage the Kubernetes cluster, the front end for the web TV, the shops, and all the other services related to the point of sales and the nuclear. And who
Yes.
does the development? Like how many people do the development?
Well, mostly me, but it's as I said, we try to use many of these off-the-shelf systems. So basically, when we have set up, maybe made 1 or 2 integrations, then we try to hand it off and say like, maybe we can revisit in 6 months if there's something missing. But it is, since we have started taking more stuff inside, for example, before Shopify, we had a development partner on the web shop. Then we decided to buy Shopify, did a lot of work ourselves, and now the fan shop handles it themselves. They run it in like day-to-day business.
Do you offer personalization on Shopify, like your name and number, for example?
Yes.
Yeah. And is it just the player names, or is it custom?
You can write custom names as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You added that recently, or when we looked at it, it didn't have it?
It might depend a little bit on the shirt you decide to buy, but we can maybe we can talk about it afterwards. Yeah.
Looking at the old chart, I could see that under the football division there is a head of data, and I guess that's for football analytics.
Yes. Yes.
And you get a lot of data through your solutions that are within your area. Do you do any collaboration with them on analytics? Or how do you handle your analytics?
Well, basically all these, for example, ticketing system, fan shop, video views, all these systems where our fans are doing something, we collect the data, we put it into a data warehouse, we build reports based on this, and this, of course, also gives us some insight to what the fans are doing, what do they need, and we use that in marketing afterwards. But basically, one of the projects coming up in 2024 is personalization. Much more of that. We are very inspired by La Liga and Real Madrid as well. And they recently started doing a lot of personalization and has been a big success. So we are trying to copy that, basically.
How do you actually see AI in this FCK in the future?
That is also a 2024 project. We have recently started using AI, and of all departments that could start using AI, it's our finance department who started using AI, which is a bit funny because they are usually very strict and they want rules and they want no uncertainty yeah, but they started using it because we get quite a lot of invoices for all the different departments, and they don't really have time to send out these invoices to people internally in the company. So basically, they have set up an like a AI scanner that just scans the document, figure out is there any names we know in this document, and if yes, then they will be put into a flow where it would have to be accepted upwards. But in general, we are starting to use quite a lot of AI, and sports side of business has used much machine learning.
So how big is the sport tech side? Or how big is the head of data? How many people?
They have quite a lot of analysts and both training analysts, game performance analysts. They have people that analyze different parts of the play. So they have some who only focuses on attacking play, some who only focuses on defending play, in between plays and such. But I think they are maybe 8 or something. Yeah, and then they have the scouting too, which uses data quite a lot as well. And I really hope I know they want to do a presentation, so stick with this event, and there might be a sports tech presentation at some point too.
So, web is not the safest space. How about security? Like, how do you incorporate this in your model? Specifically when you let like other departments kind of maintain products, I would assume that's how it goes. And how do you?
So basically, internally, we do quite a lot awareness training. We occasionally send our own phishing emails. We also have pen testing on the network infrastructure. Back in the Euro 2020, when we had that, UEFA actually sent out penetration testers at the stadium. They were just walking around, see if they could find an open network port to put something in. They did quite a lot of security, and we try to enforce two-factor authentication for all these projects that we do ourselves. We have set up monitoring of the packages, etc. We also have some security reports which scans our Azure environment and gives us recommendation on what to change. We take that quite seriously because because it's important. No, but yeah, we do quite a lot in security, and also ask for our suppliers to do good.
Any DDoS protection?
Yes, we have. Yeah, we have.
Major one.
Yeah, but it depends a little bit on what kind of infrastructure we are looking at. But we are trying to improve on that quite often. It's not something doing once and then put it in the corner. We try actually to actively spend some time. I think maybe every 3 or 6 months we try to take a look at new recommendations and implement them, because often it's actually quite easy, I think, and often it's many small things you can change. Yeah.
And specifically, follow up is so you were saying about the rules about security. Are you using like front door, or is just web application firewall?
I'm actually not entirely sure, because that's more of the IT side of it, and I'm mostly focused on digital development, so I'm not too much into to that solution.
Just IT operations.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we have to.
Just one question. I'm just really astonished about the fact that you say you're only 5-10 people or something running all of this. It's all the same as you. Right? So you're desperately looking for more people, or are you changing?
We are looking for more people, and I'm quite desperate because I have way too much on my plate. But yeah, it's also important to notice that since I started back in 2020, a lot of the stuff were outsourced at that time, but we weren't really happy with the service provided by others, and that's why we decided to take things in. Like, I mean, for example, Shopify. It's basically so easy, so anyone can, sign up for Shopify and start selling in very short time. You don't really need experts. Of course, if you want to do good, you would need some experts, but basically, after we have taken a lot of more time in, then there's this whole operation, and whenever someone has issues, and that's what we are being sort of caught up with now. So now we need more people, but also to do many of the projects. I mean, many of the different departments, they have a lot of wishes, and it's not very fun to say, yeah, I know it's important for you, but I can do it maybe next year. That's not really a acceptable solution for them. And also, as we wrote earlier, we want to deliver fast. So yeah, we both need more people, and yeah. So please send your application. Thanks a lot.